What's up? This is the Grit Behind the Grind podcast. We're your hosts, Destiny
and Eric. We are two serial entrepreneurs who have recently took the chance to bet on ourselves and leave our 9-to-5s.
So this is just an episode about day zero and how the idea of grit and grind came about.
Yeah.
We're probably going to do just a kind of quick organic Q&A. I'll ask some questions, he'll ask some, and we'll just kind of give our outlook on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because although we did it together, you realize that men and women think differently. They remember things differently too. So
yeah, well, we have two different brains also. You know what I mean? That's kind of why we make a good team.
Yeah.
You know.
So question number one, though.
All right, go.
What was the moment of inspiration that led us to starting a coffee business?
There was a few things. I would say one is, I don't remember if we read this in a book, a podcast or something. We realized that the average millionaire had 7 streams of income. So I remember that's always been our goal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to make $1 million. Like that was it. So that was one, highly motivating factor. What about you?
I know that was probably the main motivating factor for me. And at that point, I know that you had your 9-to-5. I had my photography business, and we had Rao Holdings, which was our real estate kind of thing that we were kind of growing.
We had 3 sources of income at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we were trying to grow that Rao Holdings, that real estate, and we had about a $30,000 kind of like nest egg. Housing
that we got, I think, from selling one of our real estate properties.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I know that real estate was crazy about that time, huh?
Yeah. So basically, this was like kind of 2022, like the beginning of 2022, and the housing market was super inflated. Everything was high, and then owners didn't want to sell because there wasn't a lot of inventory on the market. So we had this 30 grand just sitting around, and we knew that we didn't want to put it in a CD or IRA or whatever that looked like, because it wasn't going to produce the numbers that we wanted. We wanted it to produce a higher return. And so we was honestly looking for another piece of real estate, but at that time it was hard to find. So that's when we started brainstorming on other ideas and how can we ultimately take this money and invest it and grow it, the best, the smartest, fastest way, which led us to food trucks is where we started. Yeah.
Yeah. So second question you got for me?
Yeah. So share some of your initial thoughts when we were starting this business.
So initial thoughts is you go to the holy grail of information.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Where is that? Yeah.
YouTube.
100%.
You go to YouTube and you research all the things and you believe all of them, and then you kind of go through and you weed out the bull crap, and then food trucks kept kind of catching our eye. So we ran a lot of numbers on owning food trucks and, all the build outs and stuff like that. And it kind of brought us to doing coffee shop numbers and being in the food industry kind of, still mainstream.
Yeah, but I mean, we got to really start. We said we only have 30 grand. And after we did our research on restaurants and food industries and so forth, it was like, okay, well, to go buy a building or lease it and then get started on something like that would be, $150,000. So that's what it was like. Hey, we have X amount, and food trucks, we can actually like invest this amount and then prove our concept. But we're also firm believers, like, throughout our entire life, we probably would buy a motorcycle and we would ride it and flip it. The point is, whatever toy we wanted in that season of life, we would almost go and shop and find that toy at a certain price, and then we would use it for a little while. For a boat, for example.
Yeah.
We would go buy a boat, we'd find a good enough deal that we could ultimately sell after we used it to make either our money back or we can make a profit on it.
That's probably your superpower is market research. He is very good at knowing when to buy, knowing when to sell. I could care less, but that is probably like your superpower.
For the past, I would say probably 4 years, I have bought a boat during the winter and a motorcycle, and then had made a nice profit on them just because I understand the market. Basically, hey, they're at you can pick them up at a lower rate during those times when nobody's riding them in the wintertime. Yeah. But when summertime comes, especially 4th of July. Remember
I
that
know.
one guy?
I was gonna say, tell him your
So
story.
we literally are on the lake, and 4th of July, my whole family's up here, and we're all like boating and stuff. And basically, this guy offered me a really nice profit number for the boat while we're on vacation and
4th
boating.
of July. The whole reason we bought the boat.
Yeah. And ultimately, it was just a number that I could not turn down. And we packed up everything we had
And we sold it,
sold that bad boy. We're not attached to anything.
No.
You know what I mean, it's almost like the money game where we really get excited about making money.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, so fun fact though.
Go back to the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. In our research, we have a tendency to gravitate towards things that are timeless. His 9 to 5, he was in the occupational health.
Yeah, like
kind of
OSHA
field.
Yeah.
That's not going out of style. I'm in branding and marketing. That will never go out of, style. And so while we were researching, we realized that coffee is one of the top commodities of the world, right under oil and metals. Yeah. And so coffee's not going to go out of style. It's not trendy. And we're like, well, if we're going to put any eggs in any basket, this might be one worth going, doing. And so tell us about some of the doubts that we may have had going into this.
I mean, initially it was like, would our market support it, right? Because we're in a population of about 6,000. And you got to think the market that we're in, we have 6,000 population, but everybody seems to work outside of our population. We don't really have any big industries here. The biggest employers here is going to be, we have a small like rural community hospital and then our school systems. Other than that, it's not really big industries. So we was like, hey, will our market support a coffee shop? Why is there not a coffee shop here already? You know what I mean? And all these doubts are going through our minds. So it was a lot of going back and forth and trying to figure out, hey, would this be a smart investment in this area? Which ultimately led us to having a more versatile business model and being on wheels.
Yeah. So we knew that we only had this nest egg. We could only use that. In my head from the get-go, I was like, Eric, I want this shop where people can come in, entrepreneurs, students, business owners, home workers. I want them to sit down and talk business. But I knew we couldn't just jump all in and do that. It was not tangible with $30,000. He kept pulling the reins.
Yeah, that's on every project. She's like, babe, I want to go all out. I want all the luxury.
I'm going to push my limits. And you tell me no, and it's usually more than I
It don't matter if we're building a house or I'm like, no, babe, this is a rental property. No, we do not need those type of floorings in here.
But yeah, we always have a backup plan. So one of our doubts was, what if the market doesn't support it? What if worst case scenario? So mobile concept, we can go to people. That was cool. We can go build brand awareness. Second, worst case scenario, this flops and fails. We will liquidate all equipment. We will sell the trailer out, and we might be out a couple $1,000s in our time. So there's always a strategic kind of backup plan that we typically have.
There's an exit strategy, right? There's a plan B, we don't have all of our eggs in just one basket. And that's always been any of our investments, and it has worked out for us. And we, like you said, we kind of study the market and whatever that is, whether that was just an enclosed trailer. Well, I know that people that have grass cutting businesses, they need enclosed trailers and so many other things. I was like, so we'll pull everything out, strip this bad boy, and then sell it on Facebook Marketplace or whatnot.
Yeah.
But we did not ever have to do that.
We did not ever have to do that.
We're sitting here talking to people and trying to help them on their journey because it was the opposite. You know what I mean? It was very successful. So, tell us what were some of the excitements surrounding the idea? I'll let you touch on that a little bit.
So, of course, my baby and everything I generally enjoy has something to do with creating. Yeah. Rather, it's creating a space, creating opportunity for people, specifically creating brands. That's my kind of niche. And so I was super excited to have this ideal client in my head, create a whole storyline and following and sell an experience to someone. I was super stoked about that. Yeah. You were a numbers person though. So what were you excited?
I was like, I don't even care. I just want to make money,
Two separate mindsets. Yeah. That's so funny.
But I tell people if they don't know already, we had those 3 sources of income, and I was OSHA, occupational health and safety. And it was like a larger umbrella of photography and marketing because that's what your background is. She's very creative. And I'm very analytical, I guess you would call it. So we kind of yin and yang each
It's
other.
perfect yin and
Yeah.
yang.
So.
But we were excited about adding another source of income.
Yeah.
And the goal was $1,000, what would typically be maybe a real estate project cash flow. And so that was our goal for the month, was to take this, see what it develops, see what it grows into, and to just have an extra $1,000 a month. So did we make it? Who knows? You'll have to stay tuned. Did we make more? Who knows? But we definitely did meet that goal. So
yeah. So really, we're going to stick to some like short clips and information, and we're going to try to build a whole series around helping other entrepreneurs and, couples, and, even if you're not couples. But also our first topic, I guess, is going to be focused on the mobile coffee industry.
Yeah,
because
we have a million projects, but we get a lot of questions in our DMs about specific things about the mobile. We always get asked how and why coffee, or how'd you do this? So we're going to try and do that, but we'll eventually grow into we have so many other things that we are super excited
would love to share.
Yeah. So, but to follow along for this journey, we have showed every step of the way on our social media at grit&grind_coffee. So go follow the journey, go back and check out some of those highlights.
That's on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Go back, check out some of those highlights if you're just curious of what our first trailer. I'm not going to tell. We've been through a lot of trailers. So we keep growing and growing and growing. And then also hit us up at gritandgrind.coffee if you're interested in partnering, or the littlest bit of information that we could give you about owner and operating a Grit and Grind. We'd love to help you on that journey as well. And then if you're interested in being a brand rep, we would love to find people that share our core values, which are love others, spread light, and work hard. So if you believe in those things too, hit us up. We'd love to maybe collaborate or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. So we hope this information gives you a little bit of insight of who we are, our background, and what we're trying to do here with this podcast. We hope to grow it, and hope that everyone will kind of follow along with that journey. And we hope to put up some valuable content here in the near future.
Yeah, and some actionable stuff too, like some links for some PDFs, and so you guys can do some homework and take action, because we know, what do you always say? Analysis paralysis. I'm the world's worst. I'm a perfectionist, but he is the yin to my yang, and he's like, just do it. So we're going to try and give you some of those things as well. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, comment below any other questions or content that you are interested in, whether it's coffee related, business related, personal growth, relationships, all the things. We'll try and do our best to create some content around that for you.
So hit us up on all of our social media platforms, Grit and Grind Coffee. You can find us. We're on all of those. But until next time,
Man, one take.